Spirit Airlines is no more. After 30 plus years in business, they officially shut down yesterday, but the writing was on the wall. They hadn't turned a profit since 2019, and they'd spent the last couple of years in and out of bankruptcy court, but final nail in the coffin was the high jet fuel prices affecting all the airlines. But you might be wondering, what happens when a company goes out of business? So the quick rundown is there's this thing called a capital stack, which basically says for everybody who's involved in this company, whether they lent money to them or they bought shares, right? That's the order of operations in which they will get paid. So typically there will be people who lent money and had that loan backed by certain assets. So somebody might have said, hey, Spirit, we'll give you $50 million, but we want you to back that loan with 10 airplanes or whatever it might be, right? Then there's going to be folks who say, hey, I'm going to lend you money at a higher interest rate, but I don't need it to be backed by your planes or anything else. And then, of course, there are the shareholders, right? So that's generally the order of operations. You're going to go with your secured lenders, unsecured lenders, and then down to your equity shareholders. So what's going to happen now is they will sum up all of Spirit's assets, kind of get the records together, sell everything they can to raise a pile of cash, and then they will follow that capital stack in order to pay back folks depending on their standing and position. So what's likely to happen is the first few folks in that order, or people who have, loans backed by certain assets, they'll likely get something back. It could take a couple of years, right? These things can take time, but likely there's not going to be anywhere near enough cash to get through the full capital stack. So there's going to be, you'll see, a lot of folks are just going to write off their investment at this point and take a full loss. So that's essentially what happens when a company goes out of business. Total up the assets, sell it for cash, and try to pay back everybody you can. If this was helpful, give a like and follow for more.